all about IoT based testing. And I are going to give you an idea about what is IoT based testing. So, first of all, can you guys look at this picture and what you can understand by looking at this picture? Okay, I talk about this. This weighing machine is an IoT device. Okay, so when the user weighing his weight, I think this user is overweighted. So the IoT device can connect to the internet. So the IoT device is threatening the user that if you don't give me $50, I will treat your real body weight to the Twitter account. Then you will be in great trouble. So this is IoT in a nutshell. So with that, let's move to what is Internet of Things. When we talk about what is Internet of Things, many people have different ideas. Okay, something robots are IoT based, but actually not every robot is a product of IoT. Okay, so to make that clear, let's let's get an idea about what's an IoT device. Okay, simply an IoT device is a physical object which can connect to the internet. So now you can take an idea why every robot is not an IoT product, because there are some robots they can't connect to the internet. You will not believe me if I tell you that even our mobile phones were not IoT devices for reason, because recent only they have with the advantages of IoT. Our mobile devices also became IoT devices, because in earlier days our mobile phone couldn't track us, like they didn't know what we talk. So now if we talk anything in Facebook or in YouTube, you get suggestions, because through the mic it is connected to the internet, and they are suggesting us any thing, any damn thing we are talking. Okay, not even we are talking. Some may have experience if we have a thought that is in Facebook or something. Okay, so not only that, in Google, like Google Maps, first it was just a map. So then now you can like find the best route to go, find the way at the traffic. No, it's because of the devices are sharing their location. So if more traffic in a place, you can easily find it through the map, and you can avoid the traffic and go your any destination you have planned. Okay, so now let's define what is IoT. Okay, actually simply IoT means the network of physical devices. Okay, network of physical devices which are embedded with sensors, softwares, and other technologies in the purpose of connecting and sharing data uh, among the devices and also over the internet. Okay, that's the definition of Internet of Things. And when we talk about the domain of this IoT, the domain is limitless. Okay, you can apply any IoT device to any domain. Okay, in healthcare also there are more than like you can tell. Okay, so if we look at this picture in the slide, you have IoT enabled cities, you have an IoT enabled ships, airplanes, trains, IoT enabled factories, many more. Okay, so it's all about what is Internet of Things. Now we are going to uh, discuss what is IoT testing. So as giveaways, it's really useful to us to know about IoT testing. So to explain you all about what is IoT testing, I would like to call upon Saavi. Saavi, what is?
So now, let's talk about IoT testing. First of all, what is testing? We test. Why do we testing something? We test something to make sure something's an object or software software's quality and its functionality is working as expected. So same applies in here IoT, but it's more complex. And in IoT testing, we have to test physical devices. So when we talk about physical devices, we have to ensure the devices security as well. As the all devices are connected to internet, we have to ensure the security of those devices. So as an example, let's take a smart plug. It's an IoT device. If any third party can control the smart plug, it's really annoying, right? So we really should concern about the security of the IoT devices. Because of this, many IoT companies rely on IoT automation, penetration, and performance testing tools to find defects before they are reaching their customers. That's all for IoT testing. Now let's talk about general infrastructure for IoT systems. Basically, we should create an organized plan to select and see. We have to select most effective testing tools if you want to ensure the high quality of products or services. So there are 4 layers. In physical layer, we have physical devices like sensors, controllers, and other connected devices. In network layer, it means the communication between internet and the IoT devices. In data management layer, it means the backend. It provides us to store our data. In application layer, it means the final application we are handing over to our customers. So now let's see what are the IoT testing approaches. Making an IoT testing framework is one of the best practices. Here are some of the approaches to IoT testing. First, check all layers separately and check the inoperability of several layers and check the operation of the entire system. For an example, in previous slide I talked about 4 layers. So we have to check all layers before, as the first step, we have to check the all layers for security and functioning separately, and then we have to check the inoperability of several layers. That means the application and data management layers needs API checks, and the physical and network layers should check for compatibility. And finally, we have to check the entire system. That's all for IoT testing approaches. Now Suran will talk about IoT testing types. Over to you, Suran.
Thank you, Sai. So now let's talk about what are the testing types of IoT. So as you can see in this slide, there are so many testing types like usability testing, security testing, performance testing, reliability, and so on. So I'm not going to explain each and every testing type now. I will only describe you the most important testing types here. So the first one is data integrity and functional testing. So what is data integrity testing? Data integrity testing means the process which we verifies the accuracy, the quality, and the functionality of data within any organization and that organization's database or data warehouse. So in IoT, we use tremendous amount of data. Okay, if you can, if you can't understand it properly, we can, as an example, we can take an ATM machine. Okay, an ATM machine is among the first examples of IoT devices. So in Sri Lanka, there are so many banks. So if we take a particular bank, they have many ATM machines around the country. So day by day, there are so many transactions going on each ATM machine. Every time any person in any place, actually now also anyone may be doing a transaction from ATM machine. So once we do a transaction from ATM machine, it is recorded in our accounts, bank accounts, and even we get an SMS also. So think of that there are so many ATM machines in the country, so many data is pumped into the internet. So think of the uh, like amount of data. So data integrity testing is really important in IoT because of that. Okay, then let's now talk about performance testing. The goal of doing a performance testing is to check whether the IoT components meet their specified KPIs. KPIs means key performance indicators, such as speed, responsiveness, etc. So, uh, like performance testing is an obligatory step before scaling an IoT solution to production. Okay, so then now let's talk about security testing. Security testing. When we talk about security, IoT, security is number one in IoT because uh, IoT is all about like its operations is all about sharing and processing data. So most of those data maybe are most of those data are personal and uh, like business related data. So they need to be protected really well. So we need a high level protection for it. So this security, uh, like securing these uh, parts is uh, spread all over the IoT environment. Okay, so that's why when we do uh, like security testing, we do it in each and every layer. As I told, we do it in each and every layer of the IoT system. So with that, we are moving to the this table is mentioning the applicability of those IoT testing types with the uh, layers of IoT system. Okay, so you can see in this functional testing. Functional testing is applicable in physical layer, network layer, and data management layer. Okay, and usability testing is only applicable in physical layer and application layer. And we apply security testing in every layer. And performance testing is done in application, network, and data management layers. And again, compatibility testing is done in application, physical, and application layers. So those are the uh, IoT testing types. Now, so I will take you through the IoT testing process plan. So I go to
And here's the IoT testing process plan. First, we have to we have to form an testing team, and then we have to develop a strategy and a test plan for IoT app and its specific modules. And we have to select the test type because of the specific of each component of the IoT system. And then we have to choose an appropriate set of tools for testing. And we have to create an IoT testing lab. It's different from the normal testing plan because we have physical devices. So we have to make those devices and we have to test them. So we have to arrange a separate place for that with a good internet connection. And we have to develop running and maintaining test cases and IoT scenarios. And then we have to analyze an elimination of the potential problems in testing the application. Finally, we have to generate the reports and documents of testing. Now, Suran will explain about challenges of IoT testing.
yeah, thank you, Savi. Uh, when we talk about IoT testing, there are a lot of challenges. Okay, uh, we have mentioned some of them in this slide. So as you can see, communication protocol, multiple IoT cloud platforms, IoT security and privacy threats, device diversity, network availability, and data volume, variety, and data velocity. So I will not going to explain each and every one. I will explain this. First, I will explain this multiple IoT cloud platforms. So Azure IoT and AWS are the commonly used IoT cloud platforms, uh, which helps to connect IoT components, different IoT components. Okay, so those IoT devices need to be checked across every IoT uh, cloud platforms in order to check their effective usability. Okay, then in an IoT cloud platform, there are different IoT devices with different capabilities. Okay, so those devices generates structured and unstructured data, okay, and they will send to the cloud platform. So it is a big trouble with when we have multiple IoT clouds. Like it's really difficult to replicate a real-time testing environment. Okay, because when there are a lot of IoT devices, and we have to test those devices, all the devices with different IoT cloud platforms. So it's a big challenge. Okay, then I will explain what is like IoT security and privacy threats. So IoT devices are the most vulnerable devices to cyber attacks. Okay, so actually the most of the users think that it is the manufacturers responsible to uh, well to like secure their devices. So they do nothing to protect their devices. Okay, then uh, when we talk about the data, okay, the data we are sharing in the in a IoT, like IoT device, there are a lot of data, like there are personal data. So if we don't have a proper secure system, okay, so if we take that vulnerability is going to move into the IoT solution, so we need to have a perfect security system with our uh, like perfect security strategy in place. Okay, so otherwise we are in a great trouble. Okay, so now let's talk about device diversity. So there are a lot of IoT devices with so many brands, so many types, so many uh, operating systems, so many versions of operating systems, and so many screen sizes also. So with those IoT devices, there are if we think that we have a IoT application, so if we have to test that IoT application, we have to test it with each and every device and with each and every combination of those devices. So it is a really big challenge. Okay, and next I will talk about network availability. So when we talk about network availability, without network, IoT is no more. Okay, so there should be a consistent network availability for IoT testing. So if we have a poor internet connection, we uh, like we face so many uh, inconvenience. Okay, so those are about the challenges of IoT testing. Now I will talk about suggestions to make IoT testing effective. So as the first suggestion, we can say using gray box testing. Okay. So before explaining this, I would like to have an answer from you. What is gray box testing? Anyone in joining online can also give any answer.
This is in the middle of
Yeah.
white.
Yeah. So gray box, like when we explaining what is gray box testing, we can compare it with white box and black box testing. Okay. So as you all know, in white box testing, we are testing with the knowledge of the internal structure of the system, and in black box testing, we don't have the knowledge of the structure of internal system. Okay. But in gray box testing, we partially knows the internal structure of the system. Okay, so with that knowledge, it allows us to design effective test cases in IoT. Okay, so uh, when we have effective test cases, it allows us to know the operating system, the architecture, third-party hardware, the new connectivity and hardware device limitations. Okay. Then the next session is using real-time operating system and what it is a real-time operating system. Like there are operating systems and there are real-time operating systems also. So what are real-time operating systems? Okay, real-time operating system is an OS which guarantees real-time applications uh, certain capability. Okay, that guarantees a certain capability within a specific deadline. Okay, so it's time scheduled one. Okay, that's a real-time operating system. So using real-time operating system is vital to delivering the scalability, modularity, connectivity, security, which is important for IoT. And obviously, uh, making the IoT testing process automated is also a good solution to make IoT testing effective. So that's all about suggestions to make IoT testing effective. Now, Sai will explain you all about the IoT testing tools. Sai, over to you.
Yes, yeah. It's an IoT testing tools. You may already know this. As an example, Wireshark, TCP, Showdown, and Software Cloud Test are some of the tools. Wireshark is an open source and network traffic analyzing software tool, and TCP does the same job as Wireshark, but it doesn't have a GUI. Showdown is a testing tool which you can to use to discover which of your devices are connected to internet. Source cloud test it enables 4 types of test automation in a single web platform. So these are some of hardware testing tools for IoT testing. JTAG dongle, digital storage oscilloscope, and software-defined radio. Uh, that's all for IoT testing tools. Over to you, sir.
Yes, Sai. So now let's talk about prerequisites of IoT testing. As in every IoT, every testing process, there are some things we need to set up beforehand starting the testing process. So in IoT also there are some prerequisites of IoT test. Okay. So first of all, we need to set up the devices. Okay. Those devices should be in a working manner. Okay. And also those devices should be able to use in real life. Okay. So if we can't use them, it's no need of using those. Okay. And those devices most importantly should be turned on. So when we setting up the IoT devices, we must check whether all the IoT devices are turned on. So then we have to set up the IoT hub. IoT hub is a server that can connect with IoT devices. So this IoT hub may be an application in a mobile device or a web server on a cloud. So it is really important to set up the IoT hub properly with the IoT devices, because otherwise the connection is when the connection is lost, the inputs and outputs get interrupted, so we can't get the proper outcome of the device. Okay. So then finally we have to set up the network. As I previously told, IoT is totally on connectivity. So we have to connect the devices to each other and connect the devices to internet. So for that we need the solid wireless connection. Okay, so for those wireless connections, we can use Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, satellite signals, and NFCs. NFCs means near field communication. So when we are connecting wearable devices with the mobile app, we must ensure that Bluetooth of both devices is turned on and both devices are paired together, and also both devices are in the range of each other. Okay, so those are the prerequisites of testing. Then we have come to the end of our presentation. to explain you the conclusion, I would like to call upon Sai.
IoT growing rapidly in the next couple of decades, and there is a big number of devices and softwares used in IoT, and its count increasing very quickly day by day. So more testing and questions will be required for IoT testing. And IoT is neither software nor hardware, so it's a combination of both. So we need to improve our testing cycles according to the demand as well. That's all about for our presentation. Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Okay, guys. I think that's very good presentation, Savi, Suran. Very insightful. So I think we learned a lot. So what we have to do is basically search those, there are different words and all. Search those words and learn more. So thank you again, Savi and Suran, for the insightful presentation.